Hello there. Welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga Show with your host, Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 786. It should be 786. I'm hoping it's 786, and if it's not 786, I'm going to be crying. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be upset, but I'm pretty sure it's episode number 786. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. How am I? All good, all things considered. I cannot lie. I cannot lie. It seems like everyone under the sun is getting cancelled. I don't know what is happening. I don't know if this is the reckoning that Cat Williams spoke about. Remember, he said this year's meant to be the year of truth, where all secrets are revealed, where everyone's true self comes out for better or worse. And it seems like everyone, especially within the hip hop R&B world, is getting exposed for some of the, questionable or downright horrific things that they have done in their past. Everything is now coming to light. And it kind of makes me think of that famous quote that my parents always used to say to us when we were growing up about everything that happens in the dark will come to light. Annoying quote when you're young and you're trying to live your life and you're trying to express yourself and stuff, and you feel like your parents are controlling you, blah, 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 blah. But in the end, when you get older, you realize they were right. They were right. You really can't do anything in secret. You really can't do anything in the shadows and think no one's going to find out, especially if you're hurting other people. People are always going to be able to tell their story at some point, and usually it's not going to be at the most apropos time for you. Case in point, The Dream. The Dream is in a lot of trouble, it seems like. The Dream is in a lot of trouble, it seems like. I don't really know if any of this story is true. I don't really know where it's coming from in particular, but it does sound pretty flipping grim. So this is courtesy of the New York Times. It says The Dream, hitmaker for Beyonce and Rihanna, is accused of grape. The horrible, dreaded word that no man wants to be accused of. They're piling on Terrivius. How do you say his name? Gestile Diamante or Diamant. It says here, Tyrus Gestile Diamant, a top songwriter and producer of Beyonce, Rihanna, and other stars under the name The Dream, has been accused of rape and sexual battery in a lawsuit filed on Tuesday by a former protege. Whenever it's people like this who are super close to you, it lends a little bit more credence to the claims, doesn't it? It lends a little bit more credence, especially when they put through a lawsuit. It's like, oh, former protege went through with a lawsuit. Oh, yeah. It says here, how do you say her name? Shanaz? Yeah, I think it's Chanaaz. Shanaz Mangros, who performed as Channy Monroe, says in her suit that in 2015, Dream used his promises to promote her career to entangle her in an abusive relationship in which he repeatedly forced her to have sex, strangled her, and once made a video recording of an intimate encounter and threatened to show it to others. This seems to be the par for course in music, isn't it? I guess in any scene or any industry where there's very few opportunities and, there's always going to be the possibility of people taking advantage of other people because of the lack of opportunities, and whatever it may be, people will kind of hold that over people's heads and use that as a excuse to do some foul things. It seems to be the common occurrence. So maybe as well in the music industry, if you're a woman or if you're anybody actually, and you've come out of the music industry without getting scammed, without getting abused or harassed or whatever it may be, or violated, that's pretty much a bit of a miracle. That's something that you have to kind of be very proud of, pat yourself on the back, pour yourself a shot, and really give yourself a toast, because it doesn't seem like people come out of the music industry. It doesn't seem like people that get into the music industry come out of it unscathed, one way or the other. The Dream is one of the most powerful producers behind the scenes of the music industry. An 8-time Grammy Award winner who helped to make some of the hip-hop's biggest, who helped to make some of the biggest pop and R&B hits of the last 2 decades, including Rihanna's Umbrella, Justin Bieber's Baby, and Mariah Carey's Touch My Body. He has forged a particularly close creative bond with Beyonce, credited as a writer and producer of her signature female empowerment anthems such as Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, and Break My Soul, working on each of the Superstar studio albums since 2008. The way that they're describing him, it almost feels like they're describing him to people who don't know who he is, because they think that he's so insignificant and so small fry that they need to overly describe him. It's like, he's almost like, I'm a fan of The Dream's music and shit, and maybe his artistry as a writer and producer is way more in the forefront than his actual skill as an artist itself, or his notoriety as an artist. So it feels like the New York Times are going out of their way to over-explain and to overemphasize just how big of a deal he is, so that people can understand the severity of the crimes and maybe be a bit more appalled and shocked by it. Because if they just mention his name, The Dream, most people wouldn't know who the fuck he is, unless you're really balls deep in R&B. You would have no idea who he is, especially if unless you're balls deep in the music industry and you read fucking credits and whatever. Maybe you won't know what he wrote, what he executive produced, none of that. So it feels like they're going above and beyond to prove that, hey, he's a familiar collaborator with some of the biggest females in music nowadays, and basically you should care about what's going on here. It continues. But Miss Mangro's suit, filed in the U.S. District Court of Los Angeles, portrays The Dream as an abusive, Svengali-type figure, dangling the promise of fame and success before an aspiring artist while controlling her life, forcing her into unwanted sex, and physically abusing her. The suit also accuses the Dream of sex trafficking, a claim that has been cited in a number of recent civil lawsuits, including Sean Combs, hip-hop mogul known as Diddy or Puff Daddy, other accusations of harboring or transporting a victim of sexual assault by fraud or coercion. The suit says it cites Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act and the California law that allows people to bring sexual assault cases even in the statute of limitations that has been for incidents they allege that have expired. So the really sad thing about these type of cases is that, from what I've seen, especially in the music industry, it seems like people let people get away with things for a long time before they, make it known that they weren't happy with what was going on. They let people get away with it. So now you understand why this sort of behavior is never gonna get, it's never gonna. It's not something that you can ever get rid of in the music industry or any industry, especially ones with least opportunity, because there are people out there that do what The Dream maybe promised while still abusing. So those people are the ones that unfortunately are out here continuing this perpetual trend of abuse and manipulation, harassment and shit, because there are people out there desperate enough to get their career up and going that they will be willing to put up with certain things, and there are people who are sick enough to go through with that thing in order to get what they want as well. So it's a bit of a mess, to be fair. What The Dream did to me made it impossible to live the life that I was envisioned for myself, says the victim. Ultimately, my silence has become too painful, and I realize I need to tell my story to heal. I hope that doing so will help others and prevent future horrific abuse. I wonder if this person actually got the courage to say what they said because of Cassie. That's another effect that people don't realize. I've just realized just now. Not only is Cassie going to open the floodgates for other people to be brave enough to, speak up against Diddy and the stuff that he may have not done to them in the past, but Cassie coming forward and doing what she did is also going to give other people courage who have nothing to do with her, the courage to kind of step up and talk about their painful experiences. So it's a net positive. It continues. In a statement supplied by the representative, The Dream denied accusations. The Dream's quote says, "These claims are untrue and defamatory. I oppose all form of harassment and I've always strived to help people realize their career goals. As somebody committed to making a positive impact on my fellow artists and the world at large, I'm deeply offended and saddened by the accusations." But he's not going to counter or anything, is he? Interesting. Miss Mangro, 33, was born in Netherlands and wanted to break into music business as a pop singer and a songwriter. According to her complaint, she was working in the United States in late 2014 when an associate of The Dream asked her to send examples of her music. In January 2015, she flew to Atlanta to meet The Dream, who then took her to a strip club, began recording her, and according to the complaint, told her that he would make her the next Beyonce and Rihanna. You have to also there's also has to be a little bit of accountability too, man. For you to actually believe that some random dude in Atlanta is gonna turn you into Beyonce and Rihanna when you're not Beyonce and Rihanna to begin with is absolutely insane. It continues. Within days, according to the lawsuit, The Dream began to pressure her into sex, telling her it was part of the process. At the house of a studio where they were working, the suit says he locked her in the dark room and would only stop aggressively having sex with her once she said that she loved him. Oh, The Dream, Jesus Christus. couple more paragraphs here. More sexual encounters continue, the suit says, with the Dream sometimes holding her down and refusing to use a condom despite her protest. At the time, the suit says he made business proposals for her, suggesting that he could make her be the opening act for Beyonce's next tour. Yo. Beyonce was... Yo. What? According to the complaint, the Dream has been more controlling and violent. Has become more controlling and violent. He placed her in an Atlanta hotel, and his security staff monitored her movements and berated her unless she regularly checked in with him. After the complained about the bed bugs in her hotel room, her court says Mr. The Dream exploded in anger, telling her that she was disloyal brat and blaming the attention she spent on her delays for the next album. Beyonce, what? And blaming the attention he spent on her for the delays in the next Beyonce album. He piled her with alcohol and marijuana and compliances, and once forced Mrs. Mangro to have sex with him while he recorded, and later threatened to show the footage of other people. During the sex, the complaint says Mr. The Dream placed a gun next to her, and saw which he saw as a warning. At the movie theater one day, the Dream asked the woman, the complaint, to perform oral sex on him. The complaint says after she said no, he became angrily forced her to have sex in view of other theater patrons. It was physically painful encounter, they said. Jesus Christ. Miss Moreau took his van and again forced her to have sex, pinning her down and placing... But how do you continue having seen this kind of person who does this to you? How? Jesus, man. Jesus. But yeah, as you can see, it's looking kind of peaky for the Dream. It's looking kind of peaky. These accounts are pretty disturbing, and just another evidence that these R&B niggas are, all these hip-hop niggas are super, super freaky, innit? Like, freaky, like, bath in your mouth type of freaky. It's pretty sad, to be fair. They can't just, like, you know, stay at home and just chill and produce great music and go that way. It has to be more, you know? It has to be more. Always has to be just a little bit more. I don't understand it personally. I don't understand it in the slightest. I really, 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 really don't. But I've been a big fan of book club for a while. Ever since it kind of popped up on my feed. I love how fun the sets look. I love that they play different types of music than what you're used to in Clubland. And I just love the whole vibe about what they do. And to be honest, watching loads of book club mixes has kind of inspired me to relaunch my YouTube sort of mix series thing that I was doing from before. I was obviously doing the test mix stuff that I'm going to obviously shelf, but I've decided to rebrand one of my channels that I've had and name it Persistence Radio, which is where I'm going to be having all of my live stream DJ sets be recorded on here. I'll probably end up recording a few and not live streaming them and just leaving them available on my channel, which will be Persistence Radio. You can find that obviously on YouTube if you search for it, but I'm going to be uploading like clips and highlight reels of, like, you know, blends I enjoyed as well, all that malarkey, and just basically making sure all that stuff is online, including of course my actual normal legit flipping, you know, sets where it goes on for like 2 hours or whatnot. That I think is what super, super, super important. But I was watching this interview courtesy of this channel called Derek G, a music journalist who, you know, talks about nightlife and club culture and dance music and shit that I like and speak about on my own pod. And he had a really cool and insightful, very you know, expansive, very deep, very inspirational interview with the founders of Book Club, who happen to be a brother and sister duo. Happen to be brother and sisters. Pretty cool, isn't it, right? That they get to kind of create this amazing platform together as siblings and whatnot. And I learned some really cool things regarding them and how they got their start of starting Book Club and how it's kind of blown up over time. But I'm going to play a clip here, which is titled How Book Club Radio Went Viral Speaks Volumes with Derek G. So let's play this actual clip where they kind of detail how they did, in fact, go viral.
Also, where we had our first book club party was like my
Really?
kitchen, and then the living room is right there.
Were you just throwing parties from time to time?
Yeah, I mean, we were just throwing lots of parties here because we're really lucky. We don't have any neighbors on our walls. So it's like very rare in New York. So we just get really, really loud. And it gave us kind of the freedom to be really, really loud. So we would throw really late, loud parties. And then
or just pre-games before we
Yeah,
would go out.
Lots of pre-game.
Get
Every
amped
pre-game.
up.
Yeah, probably every pre-game is here.
We both started DJing in very different spaces, but around the same time. So we would practice at these pre-games, or our friend would have just a birthday party on the roof and we would be practicing together. And so we would meet up weekly, and go out to parties afterwards. And so that's kind of where the book club radio came from, because we were just meeting up regularly. And then
also we were like obsessive, because every time there was a party we were like, okay, can we DJ? And then we would play for like 7 hours straight. It was just, or sometimes longer, like we were like just sitting there the whole time, maybe not really enjoying the party enough, but just had like falling in love with that process.
I'm a big fan of these guys. I think they're super, super cool. And I do love the idea of how organic the book club thing came about. I also love that they got these really interesting rules about how they put the party together. Basically, you're not allowed to use your phone. You're not allowed to face the DJ. You're meant to just kind of vibe and just have a good time. And it kind of reminds me of the early days of Boiler Room, actually, which is weird because, they've kind of made sure to make it very clear that they don't trying to be like these other DJ mix series type of things. It's its own little thing as well that kind of exists in its own universe. But it really is interesting how it does remind me of the early days of Boiler Room, because the early days of Boiler Room, especially if you watch some of the early episodes from like in Berlin and shit, where it was like really busy, but it was like back in the day. I think they might have filmed it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it might be Prince Charles. They may have filmed a couple in the club called Prince Charles, and maybe in Trezor or one of those places. But if you look at some of those early Boiler Rooms from like 7-10 years ago, you'll notice people just going crazy, right? And just enjoying themselves, despite there being a camera that's facing the DJ and sometimes a roaming camera in the crowd capturing people dancing and whatnot. People just don't give a fuck. They're having a good time and they're enjoying themselves. And that was part of the reason why people like myself went to clubs. Part of the reason why I went to clubs was seeing fucking footage, grainy footage, horrible footage. I used to sometimes go online on YouTube and I'll just search for my DJ I want to pick, let's say Ricardo Villalobos, and I'll just go on a YouTube search and click upload date. Every weekend I'll be doing this, so fine tuned as well, just to see where he was playing around the world. And I'll be looking at all the videos that random people will be uploading on YouTube of him playing in Bucharest, him playing in Hungary, him playing Bucharest, him playing in Kiev, him playing in Botswana, wherever he went, Zanzibar, all these different places you'll see him playing for the weekend of where he was, people uploading it. This is obviously before Instagram became a thing. But the whole premise of why I was doing it, because I wanted to see what that in-club vibe and electricity was like. And I think nowadays, especially when it comes to my DJing and the way that I do things, because some of my club gigs, unfortunately, have kind of slowed down and dried down, which has been maybe a blessing as well, because I was maybe caught in a bit of a rut, or stuck in a rut, to be fair, because the places I was playing at aren't really that great. They're just like regular bars and pubs. But I do want to obviously play in all the big established clubs out there that I always kind of wank and cream about over here on the podcast. But the only way to kind of really do that is to kind of play the stuff that obviously they play in those type of places, which I can't obviously play in bars and clubs. So I always wanted to illustrate that, and looking the way that I am, being from where I am, I thought it was always really important to have that different face presenting that kind of music behind the DJ booth, because you're so used to seeing a particular person play that type of music. It's just nice to kind of mix it up and see where I'm kind of coming from, what's influenced my style, my techniques, my approach, my vibe, everything. All of that is really important, I feel like, especially to kind of inspire the next generation going forward. But just selfishly anyway, selfishly, as a lover of music, as a lover of the scene, as a lover of dancing, I just want to be able to play a set on a sick system and be able to fucking share it with people. So I get the opportunity to go to Pirate, which is an amazing service where you can do these kind of self-check-in DJ studio things. I can record myself there for hours, upload the footage on my channel, and then have the ability to share it and touch people from around the world. And who knows, maybe in the future that could kind of go on to kind of allowing me to establish my career as a DJ, and obviously going and playing at some of the big clubs I want to play at. But from what I've learned from the book club, the most important thing, and the thing that is something that I've kind of put by the wayside and I haven't really done, even with mixes on SoundCloud, is just sharing my love for music, sharing my approach for DJing, sharing my joie de vivre whenever I get behind the roof and behind the decks, and what that kind of does to me, and the electric feeling I get, and the happiness I feel from just playing and mixing and trying out new techniques and trying out different fucking combos and whatever. I got all of that from fucking listening to those guys at the book club, the brother and sister team. Honestly, incredibly inspiring. I love their approach to everything, and to be fair as well, I have to give these guys more ratings because this is a very ignorant take, because I haven't been to America in a long time. The last time I went to New York might have been like 2007 or something. But judging by how these guys are talking about their party, I feel like it's a lot harder to make a party work in America, especially in a place like New York or wherever it may be, than it would be in a place like London. I feel like the behaviors of people or ravers is a bit harder to kind of wrangle. So they have to do a lot to basically make people be on their best behavior, for lack of a better word. And the fact that they've done it, being so young and being so quote unquote inexperienced in the scene, and they've basically achieved it because you see it visually, tactically. You can feel it from the videos when you watch the live streams or the videos that they fucking upload. You can tell that these guys have put a lot of effort into making sure that they, without being patronizing, educate and inform their ravers and their customers and their community of how to properly rave and how to properly interact with the spaces that they are kind of putting forth. And so far, they've done a stellar job. And I think they've announced in this interview, which was filmed a while ago, that they were playing in Coachella from the back of that sting. The girl on the left is taking music full time and touring all around the country, whatever it may be. So they've absolutely smashed it. Obviously, those are amazing benefits, but I think by and large, the ability to just share the music with people is fucking amazing. And I actually do like the idea about themes. I'm not too sure if I'm going to copy it with my mixes, because I usually just try and do different genres. I don't really do them like as a theme. They're kind of doing like descriptive themes and then kind of trying to craft a set around that. But obviously, because they're so young and so new into DJing, it is a good way to kind of fast track your learning. If you're like, okay, cool, my theme is like, robotic, sci-fi, dystopian, whatever, blah, blah. You then choose to fit that theme. And that allows you then to be able to kind of learn and kind of, record dig and be really, really out there, more so than if you just was playing a straight up house set. So I don't mind the themes, and I think it all adds to it. And I actually love the titles actually of the videos. I think the girl maybe was a bit embarrassed when the guy was reading it out, but I actually like the titles of the video. I think it's quite nice to see, them writing these descriptive, almost, Emma Chamberlain vlog style flipping titles for their mixes, as opposed to the usual stuff that you're used to seeing from DJs where it's like the date of when it was recorded and shit, and that's basically it, but no real description of what you're gonna hear like sonically from the mix set itself. So I recommend you check it out. Really cool interview, courtesy of this guy called Derek G that I'm subscribed to on YouTube. He's got a really cool account. He talks really well about music, and it's a really good interview. I think I've got about 50 minutes left of the actual full interview to kind of listen to, but I think it's really cool to check out. I'm gonna play I'm gonna play a little bit more of this clip, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
You're relatively new to DJing, like in the last few years. It's not like you've been DJing for 10 years type thing.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah, we basically started, I guess, getting into it about a year before we started the parties, but you kind of back to that journalism conversation, I didn't feel like a proper DJ, so literally my first full-length set by myself was recorded, and that was the first book club meeting. So you really see us learning and you see us growing in this space, which at first I was so nervous about, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not a legit DJ. I'm going to put this on YouTube. I'm so nervous. And my girlfriend's like, no one's going to see it. Why are you? Who's going to see it? And then literally it blows up and I'm like, okay, so it's okay. But I think it's good, because I think a lot of people feel like they can't put themselves out there unless they're seasoned. And I think it's a really big learning opportunity. And
that's words of Virgil Abloh, by the way. Virgil Abloh and Kanye were two of the biggest proponents about learning in public, learning aloud, learning in real time. It's something that a lot of creatives don't like to do. Everyone, myself included. You want to burrow away in your little cave and then present your fucking masterpiece to the world. But sometimes, especially nowadays in the digital age, actually learning in public and learning aloud, it's actually quite beneficial, especially if you're doing it on places where people can actually see a track record of what you've done. They can go on your YouTube account, click by oldest, see your first set that you uploaded and be like, oh shit, this guy's really fucking improved. Look how much he's grown over the fucking years. So I think it's a really smart idea that they did that.
I think it also just breaks the stigma that, you know, anyone can DJ.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
She said.
Tell me more about that, and anyone can DJ, because I know that in certain circles the discourse is like, not everyone can or should DJ, and DJ culture is, not about just filming yourself and putting it on TikTok. But I think that what appeals to me about what you guys do is that there is that earnest enthusiasm, honesty, passion, and it isn't like, and while being recommended or told by your girlfriend that you should upload it, I do feel like there's an energy transference of like, you're not trying to be anything, you're just having a good time.
And that's a really good point that he makes, and something that I think I've kind of lost track of as well, because I remember when I was actually playing often, especially when I was recording my own mixes and uploading them on SoundCloud, most of the reason I was just doing it just for the fun of it. It's just fun to kind of, record dig for the week, present that record digging in the form of a mix, and then share that, on places like SoundCloud, and allow people to kind of, see what my taste level was like, what my interest was like, what type of stuff I like to like bounce and bop to and stuff. I think that's really fucking interesting. And I think nowadays it's probably more important, which is probably echoing onto the thoughts that Elijah does with his whole marketing drive about everybody being a DJ, because we actually need that more than ever. We need more people out there to just do, or to just DJ for the fun of it. DJ because they feel like, oh, this is missing. Maybe you're somebody that likes a particular brand of hip hop. Maybe you're somebody that's pissed off that there's not enough R&B out there. Maybe you want to mix up the game and change it, and you want to play more, and you want to hear more country music played in more clubs. You go and do it. You present it. You present your idea of what you'd like and share it with people, or just present it and just share it just in general, and just be able to kind of express yourself with that medium. It's really important, if anything. So maybe not everybody needs to be fucking, a jet setting DJ, but I really do think it's important that people share what they like listening to, and maybe in a weird roundabout way that will go and a long way kind of influencing what is played on the dance floors, which is really important too, because I feel like nowadays especially it can sometimes be a bit stagnant and a bit stale, which is why places like Book Club are really impressive, or platforms like Book Club are really impressive, because they present a different style of what you'd expect to hear in nightclubs, quote unquote. And obviously from an American lens, it's really important too, different type of demographic, different type of age. I think all that is really important to kind of, give you a really rich and well-rounded view of this global dance music scene that we all love.
What do you think in response to that?
I mean, I agree with Tenzo that everyone can be a DJ. I mean, I don't know that everyone should be a DJ, but maybe everyone should be a DJ. Like I every time someone's like, oh, I want to try, or, I invite them to try, and I'm always open to give tips. And, I haven't been DJing for a long time, but I firmly believe that everyone can DJ. And I think, technology has made it easier and easier to DJ, but ultimately, DJing is really just playing music for people and selecting music and playing music for them. And so, through the years, it's become more complicated and less complicated with, techniques and mixers and keeping the party alive and juggling records. But those aren't necessarily things that you need to do to DJ. Ultimately it's just playing music for people, and I think sometimes it gets too convoluted.
I agree with that. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. And I think nowadays just become a little bit more too samey, especially vibe-wise, especially in London. I feel like London has definitely kind of suffered in terms of people just playing the same type of music, especially depending on what type of parties they are. The themes, the groove, the tempo, it's all kind of the same. So it is quite interesting and nice to see, especially on an online platform. I think where Book Club Radio really kind of shines is that it's a platform where you can hear things that you probably wouldn't hear in a club. I think the girl Tizzo actually mentioned it. That's one of the big reasons why people kind of like the platform, because it's also a place where you can hear maybe a little bit more down tempo stuff that you probably wouldn't hear at a peak time club or whatever it may be. So it's pretty cool. And then just as a final point, I think they said that they kind of started book club radio as like a pre-game thing, and I love the evolution of like it started off as a pre-game way to kind of get yourself pumped for the night out, but now it's turned into its own night out where people, that's pretty cool. Like it's now become the whole night. So big up them too. Absolutely amazing. Can't wait to see how they evolve and go on from there. They obviously played Coachella. They're doing a tour and all that malarkey going forward. So check them out if you haven't already. Book club are fucking cool. And I think they even mentioned as well that they purposely, because I remember one time I was thinking, I'd like to go there. I couldn't really find much information online. They said, you have to actually read our posts and kind of get through certain bits and bobs. But obviously somebody else has come that as a friend. They can obviously bring you in, but they purposely make it a little bit difficult to go to, just to kind of weed out all the posers and all the people that are just not in it for the right reasons, which again is another really clever little masterstroke there in order to make sure that they kind of cultivate the best environment or the best people, best community to kind of rave with and do whatever they're doing. So big up the book club. I'm a big fan of them. Book club radio, they fucking smash it, which is interesting as well because there's a club in London actually. I think there's many clubs around the world probably called it, but there's one in particular in Shoreditch called the book club actually. That was a bit of a stomping ground for me back in the day when I was first going out. So it's pretty cool to see everything kind of come around full circle. So big up book club radio, big up book club radio. Moving on from book club radio, there's actually 2 events this weekend that I've actually got my eye on, courtesy of RA. So big up RA again with the events listings and shit. You know what I'm going with them guys. So I've been checking for some parties to go to on a weekend to kind of shake my money maker. But then I've also got work to do. I should really be streaming. I should really be recording DJ sets to upload onto my newly launched Persistence Radio channel, where I'm going to be uploading most of my live streams and most of my DJ mixes and clips of my DJ mixes and all that malarkey. I should really be focusing on that. But there are 2 parties in particular that I've got my eye on. I'm thinking, maybe I should go to these. One in particular is at the Cause, featuring DJ Heartstrings, Effie, Lola So, Memphis LK, Sam Gerling, and Tommy Houlihan. That might be a pretty decent party. Origins and Teenage Dreams link up. There's a Reposit party happening as well in Electroworks. That should be pretty cool. But the standout one that I'm actually also looking forward to maybe checking out is this party called Goodness, featuring Mama Snake, who might be one of the best female DJs on the scene that doesn't get recognized as much as she should. She's definitely one of the smartest. If you know, you know. But she definitely might be one of the best female DJs on the scene that doesn't get spoken about enough. Mama Snake is a boss, like for real. She's the truth. So I'm really eager to go see her. Jazz also performing. Big fan of the album that came out a couple of years ago. You got Yosuke Yukimatsu, who most of you know, the Japanese dude who plays with his top off, and he doesn't know what genres mean. He's all over the place in a fucking good way. That'd be cool to kind of check him out. Somebody called Alexi Pirala, Moritz von Oswald, which would definitely be a live set, I'm assuming, and Polygonia playing as well. So it's a pretty sick lineup on both days, on the Friday and the Saturday. If I had to probably pick one I would really want to go to, it might be the Fold night, just because of the lineup and the people who are playing I'm more familiar with, and obviously it's a bit of a one-off chance to see Mama Snake, Jazz, and Yosuke Yukimatsu play all on one lineup as well, with the addition, of course, of Morris Van Von Watsford. But 2 pretty cool events that I would recommend for those of you who are in London who are looking for places to go out this weekend, because it seems like the last couple of months, or these couple of months, there's been a bit thin on the ground in terms of nights out. Maybe it's because of the festival season. All the best DJs are out playing all around the world. That might be part of it. Oh, there's that Laurel Halo also is playing as well. That's will be pretty cool too. Laurel Halo, is that going to be a live set, a DJ set? Not too sure, but this will be a good one too to go check out the Jazz Cafe. Laurel Halo presents Atlas and Lila Bordelli or Bordwell. So definitely check those out as well if you are that way inclined. But yeah, it feels like this last couple of months as well has been a bit, like I said, a bit dry. Maybe because of festivals, maybe because people are double booked, maybe because people just don't want to play it. I'm not too sure, but either way, I would recommend you check out the Cause on Saturday for this day and night party, which would be pretty decent, I think, because the Cause has got an amazing outdoor space, really fucking nice. It's going to be really warm this weekend as well, so that'll be pretty nice. And also, they've only got actually RA, they've only got fucking what you call it, night tickets actually. The day tickets actually sold out, so it's proof that the calls are smashing it during the summer, man. Yeah, so it's gonna be fun during the summer to be at the call. So check that out if you're that way inclined. And then of course there's the event at Fold that I mentioned that I'm also looking to check out, which is Goodness featuring Mama Snake, Jazz, and Yuki Matsu as well. So I'm actually pleased to see a lot of these places still have tickets left as well, so I can do a last minute one or maybe check out a ticket swap if I need be. But yeah, recommend you check it out if you haven't already. Recommend you check it out if you haven't already. Moving on from that one, I wanted to play this clip because I feel like this clip maybe encapsulates my feelings towards clubbing and my different perspective that I now have going forward. This features the one and only Joey Diaz on the Fear of One podcast, and they're kind of speaking about, you know, nostalgia, and Joey Diaz mentioned something about Studio 54 that made me think about how I'm now approaching my clubbing experience, just going out in general. It's fucking crazy.
God. I guess the best thing is remembering stuff from growing up. That's something that that's my favorite thing. Is just remembering stuff from growing up. Yeah, thinking about the past. I love it. You know, that's where most of the most entertaining stuff is for me. But growing up now it feels like kind of weird. I think for a lot of times I didn't want to grow up because I still wanted to just be a part. I feel like if I grow up too much, then I lose all the fun. Does that ever make any sense to you?
You know, man, it's so weird how you look at your life and you go, what the fuck? I haven't had fun, since I left New Jersey when I was 20. Like that old-fashioned fun that I liked, I enjoyed, you know, just getting fucked up and laughing with your friends.
Yeah.
Sleeping on the floor and going down the shore and all that shit. And then it's like I've been chasing it for the last 40 years. What happened those summers when I was growing up? You're just chasing it, you know. It's funny, I look at, I was seeing something about a while ago about a club. They were talking about this club and VIP and all this. And I looked at it and I'm like, all this is people chasing Studio 54.
Yeah.
That's all.
And he's right. That's exactly what I've been chasing. I think that very first pivotal moment where I went to Berlin, this was maybe early 2000s, after spending, and I think I had that epiphany, or I had that kind of breakthrough moment. Oh my God, I found this mecca of a place to be. All clubs should be like this place, and da 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 da. Because I'd also spent a bit of time before I went to Berlin kind of doing some promoting kind of work, right? Just, putting on fucking events at bars and clubs, nothing too crazy. But I was kind of entrenched in the scene without realizing. I was just doing it because, that was a kind of quote unquote cool thing to do. So once I had that understanding of the scene, coming at it from a promoter side, coming at it from being a DJ, I then had more appreciation for what I was witnessing or what I experienced when I first touched down in Berlin. Especially again, because I didn't go straight to Berlin and go straight to Berghain. I went to places like Club de Visionnaire, Prince Charles, Trésor. There was this other particular black one I remember going to back in the day. It was not a witch, but it was kind of like a heavy metal influence type of techno club. I wish I remember the name. There's a really small one. It wasn't open for too long, but I remember going to those type of places before I even went to Berghain. That gave me the flipping, oh shit, this is what clubbing could be like. But one of the big mistakes I made, and I think a lot of people make this when they go to places like that, or they just experience any great festival or any great rave, is that they take that one experience and obviously try and chase it, but obviously think they can also replicate it. You can't. You can never replicate the first time you walk into an amazing club, you get past the door pickers, you walk, you get searched, you pay your ticket, you walk up those fucking crazy stairs, you hear the fucking bass reverberating as you're fucking putting your coat in the cloakroom, you queuing up at the toilets, they look exactly like how you imagine they would look on the internet, like all these things. You can never replicate that sort of stuff. So if anything, you should use whatever experience that you had the first time as a barometer, but you should always learn, I think, to enjoy each situation, each scenario, each club for the most part for what they are. And this is something that I've kind of been doing actively the last few years, is in trying to enjoy what these people can do well. Like if I go to a Fabric, I'm not expecting a Fold experience. I'm expecting a certain level of experience, a certain level of service, quote unquote. But I'm not going to try and, you know, give Fabric a hard time because it's not like Fold, because they come from two different worlds. They have two different outlooks, philosophies, whatever, points of view, two different communities, DJs, whatever, all that stuff. It's not, you can't compare them. So you have to kind of compare it or judge it based on its own merits, for lack of, you know, for better or worse, whatever it may be. This is something that I've kind of tried to implement over the last few years, not trying to chase something that I can never catch or replicate. Even if I was to go to Berlin every single day for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be able to replicate that first ever time that I went there and how that felt and what that did to me. What I can do is say, okay, cool, I've seen what the levels are. I know what the fucking gold standard is. Now I know how to judge other things accordingly, but I also don't kind of point fingers at other people do and say, oh my God, this isn't exactly how to, it's like, look, everyone's different. Everyone's got different approaches, whatever it may be, but at least there's one place that's kind of setting the standard and giving people a sort of semi-blueprint of what to kind of do and not to do. And that's something you definitely have to kind of think about. So big up Joey Diaz for reminding me to live in the moment and to enjoy each place for what it is and not try and chase the dragon, because you're never going to catch it. Okay, next on the list as well, we've got this clip. Next on the list as well, we've got this clip courtesy of The Overlap featuring Roy Keane. I'm not going to lie, this clip from The Overlap featuring Roy Keane, I swear to God, this could also be applied to DJ groupies. The DJ groupies, the scenester hangers-on, the fucking clout chasers that kind of, you know, have infiltrated and have kind of polluted and diluted the scene, for lack of a better term, because they're obsessed with standing behind the booth. They're obsessed with being in a green room. They're obsessed with guest lists. They're obsessed with DMing DJs and appearing to be their friends. All this like nonsense shit that doesn't really matter, because the main crux of a night out, the main place to be in a club is in the club, on the fucking dance floor. It's not behind a booth. It's not to the side. It's not there. It's not this. It's not that. The clubbing always happens on the dance floor, or in some cases in the smoking area. But that's it. Everything else is nonsense. Everything else is just like you trying to be a cool guy and cool girl and be in your little cool club and shit, and try to divert or mix up what the real true purpose of dancing and sharing and communing with other people from around the world and sharing a space and coming together, especially in these trying times, whatever it may be. I just find it all fucking pathetic and all fucking annoying. So I love it when Roy Keane had this to say about masseuses in football, and how they like to get overly involved, and they need to fucking calm down and relax and know their place, know their position, and take it easy and not act like they're the main character. That's the one thing I fucking hate about these fucking hangers on and these clout chasers in the scene. Fair enough, clout chase. Fair enough, do your thing. But then don't try and like go act as if like you're part of it. Don't try to act as if like you're on the agency team or the booking team, or you're the DJ as well. Like, stand back, stand away, stop being overly familiar, relax, take it easy, and chill the fuck out. But let's give it away to Roy Keane.
You know, used to annoy me, you know, the lads who do the massages, they'd all get a bit cocky, wouldn't they? They'd settle into the club or the team, then they'd think they're running the show and they've got the music, and then the team wins something, all the masseurs would be out on the pitch, and you're like, just relax.
Exactly.
What are you digging out the masseuses for?
Exactly.
No, they all get a bit cocky. They all do, every one of them. They want to be in on the bonuses. Just a bit. I mean,
I know what you're saying.
We're having a night out, free bar. Then they're coming with all their mates. You're like, you're bringing your mates. You're like,
imagine what type of psycho, and they do exist, by the way. They do exist, right? The type of psychopath that gets brought into something as a favor and then decides to bring their own friends into that thing. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I said you can come yourself. Maybe you're +1 if you're really lonely, but don't go bring all your boys from fucking sixth form to join you so you can fucking freeload. Yeah, I mean, grow up, bro. Like, what the hell are you doing? And then you see a lot of these catches in the scene do the same sort of thing. It's not enough for them to get a guest list. Oh, can I get a guest list from my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my best friend, my BFF, my this, my that, my creative director, it's like, bro, no. It's bad enough that you're hanging on and you're begging yourself, but then don't try and bring a whole army with you. Have some fucking dignity. Have some pride. Yuck.
relax. Hell. are we getting medals? No, you're not getting a medal.
Exactly.
They be wearing the headphones as if they were like players.
Exactly,
All the time.
exactly.
When they
Coming off the bus.
Yeah, and they have the headphones, you're going, relax, relax. And then they try and buy a player's car on the cheap and all. You're like, lads, relax.
And that's honestly the best advice I've ever heard. Relax. Act like you've been here before. Chill the fuck out. And it's funny too because, I don't know, maybe because I've been spoiled and I've had a little bit of that experience of being behind the booth and being in the green room, all this malarkey. It's not that great. It's pretty shit. The green room is basically full of, you know, for lack of a better term, crackheads, right? Essentially. Looking for an excuse to do drugs in private without going to the toilet every 2 minutes or gossip about whatever scene stuff is going on. The real vibes, the real banter, the real laughs, the real memories are created on a dance floor. Not in a green room. It's not that fun, to be completely honest. In my personal opinion, you're better off dancing in a fucking dance floor. So I find it interesting when people really do put these type of things up on a pedestal. Even guest lists. Like, I don't know about you, but if I'm going on a night out, I'm going to bring money with me. I don't need a guest list to go out. It's nice if you have one, fair enough, but I feel like some people legitimately want guest lists so they don't have to spend money when they go out. They'll have a guest list, then they won't put their coat in a cloakroom because they put it in a green room. Then they won't buy any drinks because most likely they snuck some in, or they'll start drinking some from someone's rider. It's cyclical. Do you know what I mean? It's a really weird way of kind of going out. Part of the going out process, part of the fun is coming back home and checking your Monzo and realizing that you overspent. That's part of the fucking fun. Trying to figure out how you're going to get back home from Angel with £5. That's actually kind of fun. Not going there and hanging on or to the hang-ons, trying to jump on people's fucking, you know, Addison Lees and trying to jump into the Uber. It's like, bro, come on. Have some fucking pride. Have some pride.
But I used to be looking before the match, and you go to do a big game, and they'd be having a proper massage like you'd have if you're away with your wife for a weekend. He's getting his back done. I'm looking going, you cannot be ready to go to battle.
Exactly.
No, by the time he came off the bench, he's been getting a massage now for 40 minutes, and he's all kind of like, these lads are getting their arms, and he's coming off the bench, he's baby oil everywhere. And then the game starts, you're looking on, he can't raise a gallop. Mentally, I need that massage. Stop doing the massage.
Exactly. I agree with him. I agree with him. And you could even take it further when it goes to clubs and say, all of that wanting to be on the guest list, all of that wanting to be on behind the green room, all of that wanting to be on the DJ booth, that takes away from the actual fun of the night. Part of the fun of the night is queuing, not knowing if you're going to get in, waiting for an hour to get to the front, then waiting another 20 minutes to get past the girl at the front because she's not sure if you're not too fucked up or you're fucked up, getting searched and being nervous that they're not going to find your gear, paying for your ticket, walking up the stairs and making sure you don't fucking, you know, stumble or fuck up your fucking foot or wherever it may be, putting your stuff in a cloakroom or in the lockers and trying to find one, or maybe trying to find one that's already open so you can just stuff your coat there in the corner. All that is part of the fun, bro. All that is part of the fun. Bumping into some randoms on the dance floor, sharing a fucking moment with somebody when you lock eyes and you love the fucking tune, maybe exchanging a number with somebody, adding them on Instagram, busting a fucking cigarette with somebody in the fucking smoking area. All of that is what makes it fucking fun. And then maybe losing that person and then see him at the end or at the bus stop on your way back home. Vibes. Not sitting in the fucking room like a little fucking, you know, like a little fucking Shazam gremlin waiting for somebody to fucking bring you in and give you a fucking bump of their shitty ketamine. Like, come on, man. Get your own ketamine, find some friends on the dance floor, and have a fucking good time. That's my message from Roy Keane and me. Big up Roy Keane. big up Roy Keane. Moving on from that one, we have to talk about the July program for Berghain. To be fair, I'm still kind of caught up on the fucking June program. The June program is absolutely banging. I'm still trying to get out there for June, maybe the end of June, especially with the Renee Wise fucking showcase happening, or the Renee Wise closing event. I think it's happening. Oh, it's happening. I think this weekend. I'm not mistaken. I think I might be too late for that one, isn't it? Well, the Renee Wise is happening. I think it's this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, or is it next weekend? When is it? Hold on, let me just quickly double check this. When is that one? Oh yeah, it is. It's this weekend. Damn. Okay, well, I'm probably too late to that one. So Renee Wise is closing on the Saturday, actually, coming up. I've heard anyway, allegedly, that's what people are saying online, that Rene Wise is closing on the Saturday. So this particular month is fucking crazy, to be fair. Loads of great fucking events. I think there's Gerd Jansen playing sometime around the 22nd, and a few other great people playing towards the end of the month as well. But July is out, so let's have a look at July and see who's playing at the hallowed space that is Berghain Panorama Bar in July. So, looking at the list so far, let me quickly scan and see if there's somebody here that I'm a big fan of. Oh my God, straight away. Look at that. As serendipitous as that is, David Vunk playing at Panorama Bar on the 5th of July, Friday. That's amazing, because I've just been listening to David Vunk's set, courtesy of The School. The School have this amazing archive of 800 plus sets that they've kind of put together, and one of David Vunk's sets is on there that I've been tearing apart in the gym. It's an absolute bop, and he's one of the best DJs out there, personally, for me, in terms of just groove and having a good time. I don't know what you want to call it that he plays. EBM, house, Italo, disco, you know, I don't know, fucking anything else in between. He plays everything, basically. He's all over the place. I'm a big fan of David Vunk, and obviously he's a bit of a character as well. So he's playing on the 5th of July. Who else have we got here? Then on the following Saturday, we've got Elianata playing, DJ Nobu, always a fucking good time, Gaetano Parisio playing, Justin Perry playing, Matthew Chard, Norman Nodge. In the Panorama Bar on that same day, you got Cynthia, Dam Swindle, Etap Kyle, Hiroku Yamamura, Kikilomu, Lau, Wallace. That's a really good lineup, I'm not gonna lie. This is very underrated because people want, you know, there's no real big superstar names there, but this is probably a very strong lineup, that one. The 6th of July, I'm not gonna lie. Pure Space is happening on the 11th of July. Finest Fridays on the 12th is a decent lineup there. The club night on the 13th of July, you've got Blawan playing. Ooh, return of Blawan. Jacko, LOL Snake, Big Up Herd, Norbuck, OK Williams, Riffs, and Tasha. Panorama Bar, you've got David Ilimichi, Eli, how do you say that? Eli Melish. Yeah, David Eli Melish, D Diggs, DJ Holographic, who I'm a big fan of as well. She's fucking banging. Nick Hopner, Omo Loco, Richard Akibenning, Egyptian Lover. Wow. In Sao playing on the 13th. That's another good lineup as well. That might be fun. That might be really fun to see Egyptian Lover play live at Sao. Might be really fucking fun. So I really recommend you keep an eye on that one. We've got Hammam Nights playing on Panorama Bar on the 19th. That's a really good night as well. You've got Cock Whore and Macho, Fafi Abdel Noor, Joss Cafe, and Sedif Adasi as well. So great. Who's the founder? I'm pretty sure. Club, and then on the following club night on the 20th of July, you got Amanda Musi, Aurora Halal, Barker, Maron playing again. Great to see him there. So he's getting a lot of gigs at Berghain recently, so that's great to see. Pink Concrete, Ryan Elliott. And in the Panorama Bar, you got Avalon Emerson, Danny Voltage, Fadi Moham, Fiedel, Natalie Robinson, Paula Temple. So far, the best lineup, I'm not going to lie, might be so far, my list of my recommendations, if you want them anyway, is the 6th of July. That might be my sleeper one, especially especially that weekend, 5th to 6th, because you get to see David Vunk play at Panorama Bar. I'm not too sure about everybody else. I'm not familiar with the rest of the DJs. And then you get DJ Nobu, Justin Perry, Gaetano Parisio, Norman Nodge, UVB, Cynthia. That's a house fun, pure bliss, and, you know, pure fucking happiness lineup. I'm not gonna lie. That's really fucking good if you went on that weekend. Maybe even from the Thursday. Anyway, continuing on. So I said that. Then you've got Soul playing happening as well. Then, of course, okay, the CSD lineup is also pretty fucking tough. So the CSD lineup at the end of the month, which is basically Berlin Gay Pride, right? Essentially CSD, if I'm not mistaken. CSD Berlin meaning. I'm pretty sure it's basically Berlin Pride, right? Christopher Street Day is an annual European LGBTQ celebration and demonstration held in several cities across Europe. Okay, so it's not just a Berlin thing. So CSD is across Europe, and it's Germany's and Switzerland's counterpart to Gay Pride. And okay, cool. So Germany and Switzerland Gay Pride happens. That's what CSD is. So that probably might be the best lineup. Second only to the one that I mentioned, which is obviously the 6th, which is the one over here that features everybody that I mentioned. But that CST lineup is really good. Yo, Blashat and Alat, man, whoever's their agents, or maybe it's just them playing well, why am I seeing them everywhere? They are killing it. Or maybe I'm just looking at certain parties, but they seem to get booked everywhere. Legitly. They are like silently without, again, I don't see many like trendy, corny, cheesy, cringy videos of them on YouTube or like on TikTok and stuff where their arms played open or doing weird faces like I would do trying to promote myself. They're actually just playing and just vibing. And people seem to love them. They're everywhere. I always see Blasha and Ala everywhere. Fucking amazing. Massimiliano Paligaria, one of my favorites. You got Partok playing there, Face Fatal. Wow, that'll be fucking fun. Steffi, Virginia, Yonti. Then you got Bashak playing in Panorama Bar. Who else I like here? Cormac. I love Cormac. Cormac forever. One of the best disco party DJs in the scene right now. Fucking Cormac. I want to see one day Cormac back to back with Pablo Boozy or something. That would be fucking incredible. Or like back to back with what's the fucking name again? Oh man, Jennifer Cardini. Imagine that. Woo. Gabo Aquatain playing Lakuti. Who also I like here? Roy Perez, I'm a big fan of. Tamasuma's there. And then in the garden, you've got Chris Cruz. Nice. Mike Starr and Baumeka, who is one of my favorite fucking residents over there, of course. And I'm also happy to see Mike Starr. Mike Starr gets booked to play at Berghain in different rooms all the time. I think Mike Starr might have played in every room so far, maybe with the exception of Berghain. He's always playing in Pano. So big up Mike Starr, man. He's had a really good 18 months or so since maybe more than that, because I think I first discovered Mike Starr courtesy of fucking Whore, but I'm sure Mike Starr's been around for fucking ever and been grinding, but Mike Starr's really been fucking blossoming, so big up fucking Mike Starr. So yeah, a pretty stacked lineup. No, actually, I'm gonna take it back. Not the most star-studded lineup. You can see it's definitely festival season. Definitely from the months of like maybe let's say like May onwards, the lineups kind of dry out in terms of the big blockbuster names, but they still kept them really stacked. And like I said, I think the real standout sly hit of a night out to go if you want to go Berghain is definitely the 5th. The weekend of the 5th and the 6th is my standout. I recommend you checking out David Vunk at Panorama Bar, and of course checking out DJ Nova playing at Berghain, and of course Cynthia playing in Panorama Bar. She's fucking amazing. I'd imagine also Etep Kyle in Panorama Bar would be cool too. I've never actually heard him play a house set yet. I'm still used to the Etep Kyle, big room Etep Kyle, similar to playing like Daria, but now he's switched his kind of style and plays more housey type of stuff. I'd actually be eager and excited to see what his type of music is and what he's going to be playing. So big up Berghain, always amazing, great lineups as per usual. As always, good luck to those of you who do venture out over there. Cool, so we got that. We spoke about venturing out. I've also want to mention this currently regarding Fuse. Big up the person that mentioned it to me. I forgot your name. I do fucking apologize. But Fuse happened over the weekend, or maybe last weekend, or maybe a few days ago. It doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm talking about. So Fuse Festival happened, and it actually happened in a new location in Barkingside, which is essentially not too far from where I live. I kind of remember going around those ends, especially when I used to go to like Valentine's Park in Ilford and shit. And I used to work around there sometimes back in the day in the game store back in the day, and just go around there in general, just trying to pick up girls and shit, like some really cringy stuff back in the day. But it's pretty cool now to see, because I guess there's a dearth and there's a lack of places to go and check out or places to hire. The promoters have to get a bit more creative and go to like far-flung quote-unquote places, and one of them being Barkingside now. But I think it's a great place to be, because I think in general the catchment for Fuse, the type of people that go to Fuse parties, I would imagine would live in those ends anyway. I think it's called Wandsworth. No, what? Not Wolverhampton. I forgot. Is it Woodford? That type of area. Barking, Dagenham, Ilford, Romford, maybe Essex, far and wide. Like, those are easy places for people that live in those areas to kind of commute and come down to Barkingside. And of course, they're familiar with that area anyway, Barking, Romford, whatever it may be. Especially, it's not too far from where I live as well, and I'm very familiar with that area, having grown up where I kind of grew up and shit. But I want to give Fuse a big shout out, right? Even though some of the DJs that play here aren't really to my taste and aren't to my liking, I have to give these guys ratings for the way that they designed the stage and the fucking festival in the first place. Bloody hell. Wow, 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 wow. So I say this because I have a feeling that nowadays because we have such a dearth of clubs, there's not really much out there anymore. It's the same old spaces, same old way they've been constructed. An actual festival, if you're really involved, if you're really excited about this shit, if you really care about providing good experiences, a festival is a good chance, a good opportunity for really adventurous, really forward-thinking, really ballsy, very courageous promoters to really put together a really exclusive, a really special experience. And what a better way to do a special experience than to really have a bespoke and a very creative and very out there design in terms of how you put the festival together. Just putting a stage, just having a stage with a fucking, black sheet over it isn't enough. You have to offer the customer a bit more, especially if they're going to spend a bit of money, especially if they're saving up to come and, enjoy your festival and shit. And just for the experience anyway. And sometimes as well for the fucking pictures. Because a place like Fuse, part of the reason why you do all this shit is obviously the free marketing of people taking pictures and videos and shit and having a great time. So, all that to say, wow at the design. So what you're looking at, from what I can see here, is this really amazing design where they have these LED lights and then they have these nice, almost like, they look like steel. I don't think they are steel. They're made to look like steel or concrete bars that run from like one end to the other end that kind of give it this like weird feeling similar to like Junction 2 where you got like the overpass going over you. So it creates this really nice, almost like it almost gives the festival a bit of structure. It kind of makes it feel like a space without having really defined walls blocking you off and stuff, if that makes any sense. And obviously I'd imagine when you're there and you're fucking raving and all the lights are going crazy, it must feel fucking amazing. So you have these fucking, again, it feels like something out of the dystopian future. It feels very sci-fi-ish. It almost feels like it's like a spaceship above your head that's about to land on your head or something. It just looks fucking incredible. Speakers hanging up from the top as well. But the design of it, I don't really know what it's meant to be, what it's meant to be emulating and stuff. But the design of it is so fucking cool. It's basically, how would you describe that letter? Like an L, like two L's. Going from, facing back to back, going from one end to the other end. And then obviously on the edge of the L, there's all these nice little LEDs that go fucking crazy. So it looks fucking cool, really amazing, especially that picture here with the trees all over it and shit. And again, Barkingside Park, from what I remember, isn't that big of a park. It's not as big as other parks within that area anyway. So they had to be really creative, I'd imagine, in how they used the space and how they managed it. And I think they did a really fucking good job. Here's another video. I think there's a video actually where they kind of show a bit of the work that they did as well. Let me pause that. Is that video playing or whatever? Let me pause that and let me actually take off the music and see what that's saying. Look at that. Wow. Also on the underside, it's actually LED lights on the underside that go off in different fucking colors and shit and different designs. That is so cool. Wow, man. It almost gives it an immersive, transformative, weird feeling. Like, can you imagine rolling and looking up and seeing all that shit? That looks so cool. And you know what it kind of reminds me of as well? It kind of reminds me of Watergate, the club Watergate in Berlin, where they have those like that light bar that goes from like the back to the front. It kind of reminds me of that little bit feeling as well. Really great design, man. Whoever designed this, like, honestly, you did a fucking amazing job. So fucking cool. Let me continue actually and see if there's any more pictures, because I love the way it looked. Actually, there's pictures of, let's see the videos of people when they're actually playing, because those videos are fucking incredible. You guys see what it actually looks like in situ, in motion. Wow, wow, wow. This is a video that features live and direct from the installation stage, featuring Trauma and Shonky. Shonky, fucking house legend, by the way. Again, I probably should have checked it out, man, because Shonky's fucking incredible to have seen. But let me actually see what Shonky was playing. Look at that, look at that. Also, they kind of look like screens, don't they? So when you look at them from one side, they kind of look like really strong, thick structures. But then when you zoom in it, when you look at it from this end here, they almost look like screens that have been made to look a certain way. However they did it, I don't know how they did it. It looks fucking incredible. But look at the sea of people. That's such a clever way to do the festival, honestly. Because I guess it allows you to also keep the festival in a confined space, kinda, without having blocked off walls. And it also allows for great pictures. Because now you have this amazing, fucking rectangular sea of people just looking at you. Almost like how Kappa Future is. Fuck, man, that's such cool design. Look at that. Wow. That looks so cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Honestly, Fuse fucking smashed it. Killer fucking design. How they put everything together. Let's check out some more videos here. This one is Fuse open air full swing. More to come as Enzo Siragusa, Dr. Banana, Laid Wall close the installation and monument. Fuck Palace, by the way. Fuck Palace. Definitely a good DJ playing here. Oh, vibes. Look at that sea of people, man. That looks like it's fun, innit? That looks like a fucking well-designed stage. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'd get rid of the sign there. The logo looks a little bit naff there in that regard. But, you know, you gotta brand your fucking festival. Fuse fucking killed it. Wow. Big up fucking Fuse. Look at the designer, man. Look at the designer, man. Wow. That's sick. It's so well designed, it's so well put together. I would consider going. And even though I don't really like tech house too much, you know, there's still tech house as, you know, the high, it's like in every genre, EDM, you know, breakbeats, whatever stuff that you don't like, drum and bass, the best of the best. When they play it, you're gonna fucking dance. So, you know, they're booking some of the best DJs from that fucking scene to play. So for sure it's gonna be a fucking bop. I've not heard a bad song so far, to be fair. Oh, and is another stage. This is more like this looks like they're in like some sort of container or something. Still looks sick. Love it. Who else is playing here? Look at that. Wow. Okay, I guess that's a set that they were playing at. I wonder why they did the stage that way. The stage on this particular stage is like all these little black squares and black screens, and you got one hole in the middle. I wonder if this is more to do with the shade because it's out in the open, maybe. But that looks so fun, innit? Like, this is the thing about London. London can be so terrible, especially during the summer. But when festival season hits, this place fucking lights up, man. Look at all the happy faces and arms everywhere, tops off, people smoking and shit, having a line, couple of flipping pills or whatnot, absolutely loving it. Eyes darting all over the place. Why not? Yeah, I can't hate. It's so good. It looks fucking fun. That shit looks fucking fun. What's the next one? Yeah, it's a weird stage design, isn't it? I wonder why they did it like that. It looks really odd, isn't it? I wonder why they did it. Maybe these screens are, maybe these are LEDs. Maybe it's shade. Maybe it's just the way they wanted to do it. But it's an interesting design, isn't it? Really odd. Vibes. Yeah, I should have went, man. Fucking big up Fuse. Fuse fucking killed it. Let's actually check one more and then we'll move on. The last one I want to see here, courtesy of this Fuse. Let's see what else they had going on here. Which one did I play? I think I played that one, right? Or did I not play that one? Let's do this. Or these are pictures, I think, right? These are all pictures or videos, all the videos. A surreal summer. What's this? Oh no! This is Enzo Siragusa, who says a surreal Sunday in East London. Thanks to the incredible East artists and our amazing team, and the 7,000 of you who joined us. Exactly, that's the thing. It's in East London, like legit East London, not fucking Shoreditch and shit. Actual East London. That's the actual cool thing about this. You get to do this like in people's hoods. So some of these people might even still live locally in the area, and now it's coming full circle. It's like you no longer you're having to take fucking 40 quid Ubers or 50 quid Ubers like how I used to do back in the day. Take the 40 quid Uber or take the fucking N15 or whatever bus home and that. You actually walk into the place or cycling over, whatever. Like fucking vibes. That looks like fun. That design of the LEDs, that box, that everything they've got at the front just looks incredible. Whoever did that, bravo, 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 bravo. You deserve all the fucking prop. More. These are clips, I think. Look how good that looks at night. Look how good this shit looks at night. Wow. That looks like fun. Fire. It's impressive how unsweaty and clean and well put together tech house DJs looking at, right? They're all wearing like, you know, they've all got nice fades. I love the different aesthetic differences. They've got nice fades, they've got cool clothes on, they're not sweating one single bit, they're bopping, everything is chill, little flick of the wrist and shit. Not as crazy as like, you know, my techno heads, right? Gurning, eyes darting all over the place, stomping from left to right. They just look super chill. Big up these guys, man. Who else is here? Hey. Five. This is like a time, man. And the thing as well that's really good about this, I'd wonder too, similar to like Junction, because that Barkingside Park is kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, quote unquote. There's not a lot of like surrounding buildings and stuff, and even the flats and stuff in that area are kind of away. You can probably ramp up the noise. There's not a lot of complaints with neighbors. That's the only bullshit thing about having festivals in like trendier parts of East London, maybe in parts of Hackney and stuff, because there's loads of residential areas. The laws against fucking noise pollution are super strict, so you're not allowed to put volume up a certain way, which is why most festivals in those areas are fucking terrible. I can name quite a few of them. I don't want to, you know, begrudge them, but you know the ones I'm talking about. The comments are also really glowing too. People are saying that was special, front row dancing all day, absolutely insane, such a great energy. People wanting the ID on a t-shirt. What is the t-shirt ID actually? What is it? Is it like a thing that they're doing? What are they doing? ID on the t-shirt, no idea. Loving the t-shirt and the hoodie. Who designed it? Is somebody who designed it? What's the ID? ID on the t-shirt? Or maybe, okay, this person I guess made it. This person called Mundane Origin. So big up Mundane Origin. ID track, someday that. Yeah, everybody's going fucking crazy. Unreal Day was absolutely perfection. Epic stuff. Congrats Enzo and see you soon. So yeah, fucking great results and great verdicts from everyone all around. So great to see. Big up Fuse. From the looks of it, they absolutely killed it. I would absolutely love to go one time actually just to go check it out, because as much as I don't like tech house overall, there are some good people out there that play some good shit. So it'd be cool to kind of see that sort of stuff. But so far, they've got what? They've got a London event. That's the one I already missed. This one, right? This is on 2nd of the 6th. Yeah, that's already gone. The only event here they've got from, I don't know, they don't, no big London events at the moment. Birmingham, Barcelona, they're fucking killing it. Big up Fuse, man. Big up Fuse. Big up Fuse. One of the last kind of like, I won't say last, but one of the OG kind of promoters from back in the day that I remember from like Brick Lane days that are still around doing fucking bits. So big up fucking Fuse, an absolute institution, and they're absolutely killing it. And the fans seem to be happy with the stuff that they're doing also. So you can't hate. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible to hate. So that's been it. The Agostinho Zinga Show episode number 786, I think. Thank you for tuning in as per usual. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure you like the show down below by smashing the like button. That'll be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you're listening via the podcast app, please leave me a 5-star review wherever you see podcasts and wherever you may be. That'll be also greatly appreciated. Links to me can be found in the description as well as links to the stories I spoke about. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Oh, and my tune of the day today is going to be called Speed, and the song is Not That Nice. Tune of the day is Speed, Not That Nice, playing for you now. Peace. Thank you so much for chilling out. Bye.